Hold on one second. We're about to get to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. This don't make no sense whatsoever. Welcome to the Dark Waters channel, where we explore mysteries, figure out the truth, dive into politics, and anything else you want to know about. That's what we doing over here, baby. Let's go.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning. The one and only James Williams, Dark Waters. I don't know how many of you guys could be up this time of morning on Saturday morning, so I'll be a little bit lightheaded with this video and won't be going hard. But Trump designates Nigeria as a country of particular concern for slaughter of Christians by Islamicists. I want to start off by saying I thank J.D. Vance, because this was J.D. Vance that pushed this, and then President Donald Trump decided he was going to do it. But I'm also going to say, y'all ain't did shit. And I'm just going to keep it real with you. Y'all ain't did shit. Okay, so you designated them as a nation of concern, which means there's going to be sanctions and everybody's going to know. No, you need to go wipe out Boko Haram. You giving bombs and missiles and everything to everybody all over the world. But when it comes to your brothers in the faith and sisters in the faith, oh no, Muslims can slaughter them. And I don't think the Donald Trump administration, nor does anybody in America seem to understand the reason why the Islamicists are rising up is because God has led them in against us as the West for being stupid, rebellious, perverse, and retarded. You are at war. Your faith is at war all over the world. It is what it is. So the question would be, what would King David do? That all the rest of the kings is cool in the Bible, but the real question is, what would David do? If you're trying to figure out how to handle this. He wouldn't say, oh, I'm going to write a strong letter to him and I'm going to try and cut off some of their resources. He said, nah, you going to stop that shit or we going to kill you. And this is the problem I have. The air has been sucked out of the room by so many other nations and their issues on a daily basis, and so many other people in their issues on a daily basis. And then when it comes to a religious thing, the air in America has been sucked out of the room by Jews and Hindus. So it's like, oh, you know, we got the Hindu such and such thing going on, or the Jewish such and such thing going on. When you have your own faith that you need to defend. Going and wiping out Boko Haram would be a righteous thing to do. But nope. Nope. And I understand that all the wars ain't Donald Trump's fault. But you go stop this war. I've stopped 7 wars. No, you haven't stopped 7 wars. You stopped 7 conflicts between nations. You have not stopped the war, Mr. President. The war that matters. You have not stopped it. And I love me some Donald Trump. I really do, man. I really like Donald. I really, really do. I'm starting to like J.D. Vance more, but I still like Donald. You haven't stopped the one that matters. And I said this, guys, about the Nobel Peace Prize. You know, it's one of those things where everybody's like, oh, Donald deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. I said, man, stop worrying about that prize, man. You were sent there to do a gig. You were sent there to do a job. The Lord gonna reward you. It's disgusting, honestly. It really is. I don't know who this girl is. This is my first time ever seeing her, but I like her. I like her because she gonna make all the sense in the world. And maybe they can. Maybe people will listen to it when a woman said, because you know us men can't say nothing nowadays because everybody ignore men. Maybe listen to it what a woman said because everybody want a strong, independent woman. Maybe that's when they'll listen to it. It's right there in the Bible. It's right there. Matter of fact, we're gonna let her play it. Then I'm gonna go show you this in the Bible when we violate, like the violations that came under Barack Hussein Obama and Joe Biden. People are driven against a nation. And we had them driven in. Everybody's like, we need to arrest Mayorkas. Yeah, you do need to arrest Mayorkas. But you do realize Mayorkas drove those people in. God allowed Mayorkas to drive all those people into this nation. Because we turned from him in so many different ways. So now that you've repented, which the nation has, don't get me wrong. You see it everywhere. You need to smack these people upside the head and move them out of here. And you need to go into the other nations as the most powerful nation and knock on the door and be like, hey, Mr. President of Nigeria, hey, Mr. President of Sudan, you got exactly 30 days to deal with this Boko Haram problem, or we going to deal with it for you. And they be like, oh, Mr. President, I do not appreciate you, the white man coming. I don't give a damn. You got 30 damn days. Or I'm going to start blowing shit up in your country. Period. And then you wipe them off the face of the map. I had to do this part again because I spazzed and I said some things I shouldn't have said. And now I feel all filthy, so I got to cover myself like this and do like this because I said some mean things that I shouldn't have said. But I'm going to let her do this again, and I'm going to try and do a second take. And when I come back, I won't be covering myself like this because I feel bad about what I said.
Whether or not people want to accept this reality, this country was founded in the direction of Christian ethics. Okay? Again, you can have all the Christian derangement syndrome you want, but in any case, a lot of these people who make these complaints are benefiting from the residual effects of Christianity, whether you like it or not. Okay? So, now, where am I going with this? I don't know if you've looked outside recently, but our culture, our civilization is about to go off a cliff. Okay, we have, in my estimation, maybe 40 to 50 years before we go off that cliff. Now, some of you will be long gone. You'll be dead. But if you have kids or grandkids, this might be a conversation that you should perhaps consider more as opposed to dismissing it outright as religious propaganda. Because what happens when a civilization falls is that another civilization steps in to stabilize the chaos. And that civilization is going to be Islam. Sorry. Those are the options that you have. You either turn back to Christ or you succumb to Islam. Those are the only options.
And that's how it's always been. That's how it's always been. That's how it's always been. This is the thing that pisses me off to the highest point of pissivity. You understand that when Joe Biden stole the election, which he stole the election, he still was crowned as the leader of this nation. From a biblical standpoint, he was crowned as a king. From the spirit realm standpoint, people be like, we don't have any kings in America. You shut up. Shut up. There's leadership. There's kings in the realm of the spirit. He was crowned as king, and he was a wicked-ass king. He had a wicked-ass son, and he had a wicked-ass wife. And this wicked king allowed all kind of perversions, all kind of crazy foolishness all throughout the land. Now, there's a difference. If the people would have rose up in a tumult against him, everybody, then the consequences and repercussions wouldn't have hit everybody. But there was part of the nation that rose up, and the other part that there was three separate segments of the nation. One part rose up, the other part sat there and was like, I don't know, I just need to go to work. And then another part of the nation encouraged the foolishness. And so guess what? The judgment was rendered. Islam was brought in to dominate this nation. The borders were flooded, wide open and flooded, and in came the hordes. The hordes. We come to take your women and children. You will pay a jizya tax to us. And we still don't get it. We still don't get it. So we come out and we say, you know, the Boko Haram in that nation is a nation of specific concern. We've designated you. I'm going to write you a strong letter. Here's a strong letter. We're concerned about you, and we're going to cut off some of your finances and your aid. Instead of just going over there and wiping it out. And daring anybody to say anything about it. Just go and wipe their ass out. And you're going to got to send one strong message. And therein lies the problem about all this. There has not been any strong message sent on the behalf of Christianity. Oh, there's strong messages sent on the behalf of Judaism all day long. Oh, we're going to get rockets and missiles to Israel. Okay, that's fine. But there's been no strong message sent on the behalf of Christianity. That's why everybody think we a bunch of little bitches that they could roll up on and do anything they want to do to. Nobody wants to send a strong message. That's why you see them running into churches, ripping off the clothes of the Blessed Mary, taking a crown, pissing on the altar. Because nobody wants to send a strong message. Everybody wants to talk. Hold on. Young Money's Nicki Minaj said, reading this made me feel a deep sense of gratitude. We live in a world where we can freely worship God. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion. We don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. Numerous countries all around the world are being affected by this horror. It's dangerous to pretend we don't notice. Thank you, to the president and his team for taking this seriously. God bless every persecuted Christian. Let's remember to lift them up in prayer. I don't know if you guys noticed, but recently there's been no rap music on the top 20, on the top Billboard charts. The reason why is because we're going through the fourth turning. And everybody talks about the fourth turning like it's a great awakening. It's a revival that comes historically on the crest of a mighty fourth generation. Everybody talks about the first generation does this, then the second generation. The generation of strong people make weak leaders, and the weak leaders make this, and then this leads to this. It's all based on your Bible. The sins of the fathers shall be passed down on 4 generations. It's all based upon scripture. And it's like we take these little bitty fragments of the solution, and then we ignore the whole title, the whole solution itself. And then we take these little nuggets and be like, oh, I'm smart. Look at me. I said this and this is right. Yeah, because he said it, because Big Guy said it. Anyway, here's Donald Trump. Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for mass slaughter. I'm hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern. But that is the least of it. When Christians or any such group is slaughtered like it's happening in Nigeria, 3,100 versus 4,700 around the world, something must be done. I'm asking Congressman Riley Moore, together with Chairman Tom Cole and the House Appropriation Committee, to immediately look into this matter and report back to me. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries. We stand ready, willing, and able to save our great Christian population around the world. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. Y'all need to get back with Donald with a plan to blow their asses off. Donald, blow their asses off. I'm sorry. There has to be a message sent. It just has to be. And there has to be a message sent for Christian nations and for Christians, period. It needs to be understood, hey, we ain't playing with y'all. No matter where you at, you might want to go home and calm your behind down. This is the perfect opportunity. You can't, for example, you can't roll into Dearborn, Michigan and round everybody up and send them this message, because you got the liberals in America who will lose their mind. You can't go into to London and France, because those are foreign nations. And, you have Keir Starmer there, who says that, Britain used to be a Christian nation. It was a church that I went to as a child. But Keir Starmer is a World Economic Forum goon who's turned over to Satanism and letting his women and children be raped. So you can't send a message there. But right here, in this moment, Donald Trump, you can send a message. You can drop the mother of all bombs, and it ain't even necessary to do. I know it wouldn't be necessary to do, Mr. President. It wouldn't matter. But you could send the most beautiful message. It would be a shockwave that goes around the world. Kaboom! And then come out and say, I want to be clear, no matter where you are, no matter what nation you're in, if you persecuting Christians, This is the faith that rests and waits for you. You got to understand, when you do that, all the terrorists inside of America going to be sitting there saying, oh, shit. Man, you saw what he did over there. Oh, hell. Now, they're going to go crazy. They might go, yeah, we go blow up. We going to go full jihad. That's cool. Get them to act now. Get them to go ahead and do what they're going to do now. Don't let them sit there and get prepared and roll out their plan. No, blow all their plans up. This country's in God's hands anyway. It's the reason why he got ran in on us in the first place, because damn Joe Biden. Let me go over here and show you what I'm talking about. Nah, I may have done this on some of the other videos, and I've been holding back, and I'm just gonna just put it out here for y'all. If you want to understand it, you understand. If you don't want to understand it, the hell with you. The reason why there's this disconnect in Christianity from the lessons of the Bible is because nobody has been taught and seems to truly understand that every king, that every prophet, that all of them became your spiritual ancestors when you accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. So many people sit there and they look at their grandparents, their great grandmother and their grandparent, or they look at their dad and they look at this and they say, well, my dad wasn't there to give me no advice, or my mama wasn't there to give me no advice. And that's true. They ain't there. They was a loser. They did the wrong damn thing. But here's the beauty of what you have. If you understand you have a spiritual ancestry because you was grafted in to the faith and grafted into God's family via the blood of Jesus, then you go and you learn from your spiritual ancestors what they did right and what they did wrong. And there's a whole volume of books of the crazy stuff they did. The stupid stuff they did that you shouldn't do. It's right there in front of you. And here's one of them. The son of Solomon, Rehoboam. Could you imagine if your name was Rehoboam? You in class on the first day of school. Rehoboam Williams. Yes, ma'am. You know what? I'm going to have another kid and I'm going to name him Rehoboam. No, Rehoboam was a dude. You don't want to name your kid after no damn Rehoboam. Watch this. Watch this. Rehoboam. Now, Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, reigned in Judea. Rehoboam was 41 years old when he became king, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city of the Lord had chosen from all the tribes of Israel and in which to put his name. To put his name and to put his presence. So this the city where the temple is and God is chilling there. Like, yeah, come on in, hang out with me, sacrifice, let's talk it out, right? His mother was Naamah the Amorite. And the people of Judea did evil in the sight of the Lord. They provoked him to jealousy more than all their fathers had done with their sins which they had committed. For they also built for themselves high places to worship idols and sacred pillars and Asherim to the goddess Asherah. These were on high hills and under every luxuriant tree. There was also a male cult of prostitutes in the land. They committed all repulsive acts of the nations that which the Lord disposed before them, before the Israelites. All right, so high places in the land, which is places to false idols. Asherah poles, which I'm not even going to go down that line with the Asherah pole is, but high places, Asherah poles, and then the cult of male prostitutes. Now, when you start talking about the cult of male prostitutes, you do realize when the cult of male prostitutes were men that were effeminate men. You do realize this, right? They was transgender before there was anything transgender. Effeminate men. So we find all these things rising up under Rehoboam. Rehoboam encouraging all these things. His wife encouraging all these things. It's starting to sound familiar? Do you understand who the actual Rehoboam is? Some of y'all gonna think the Rehoboam is Joe Biden, huh? No, no. You really think that? Some of y'all think Rehoboam is Joe Biden. No, Rehoboam somebody else. It was the cross-legged Messiah. Barack Hussein Obama was the original Rehoboam. Let me read it again. For themselves, they also built high places and sacred pillars in Asherah. Those were on every high hill and under every luxuriant. There also were male cult prostitutes in the land. They committed all the repulsive acts of nations which the Lord disposed before them. Started with old Barack Hussein Obama. Everybody's talking about all these altars that's going up to like Indian gods and Hindu gods, right? You do realize that when men decide that they're going to build that altar, the minute they design that altar in your nation is the minute the sin is committed before the Lord. The building, because he sees the end before the beginning. So he sees what's going on. Now, the time period of do we stop him is the decision period we got to make, but he sees it all. It's like with the Tower of Babel. I had this conversation with somebody, and they was like, oh, well, the Lord had to come down and see. I said, no, they hadn't even finished building the tower before he came to see what they was doing. They had just decided they was going to make brick and straw. And he was like, yo, let me go see what these people doing. Go read it closely. Because you want to know why? Because they had already erected it in the realm of the spirit. He's sitting there looking at this building come up, saying, what the hell is this? What the hell are they down there doing? They had lost their mind before they erected it. People think about God like he you. People think about my big guy like he you. He ain't me and you. And so what was the penalty of this? I talked about this on Alex Jones. Shishak attacks Jerusalem. After Rehoboam's position as king was established and he had become strong, he and all the Israel were with him abandoned the law of the Lord because they had been unfaithful to the Lord. Shishak, the king of Egypt, attacked Jerusalem in the 5th year of the reign of Rehoboam. With 12,000 chariots, 6,000 horsemen, and innumerable troops of Libyans, Shukites, and Cushites, they came with him from Egypt. He captured the fortified cities of Judea and came as far as Jerusalem. What cities are being captured all around the Western society? All around the globe, cities are being captured. We don't have walls in cities anymore. The fortifications of the city is supposed to be your police department. The fortification of the nation is supposed to be your military. If you can have Muslims running down the street and raping and robbing and pillaging your nation, the fortifications are broken down. You heard me? The fortifications are gone down. This is the thing that get under my skin. And I know somebody be like, man, you went too far. The hell with it. Don't matter. You know what? Let's keep on going. I didn't plan to go this far, but let's keep on going. Hold on. So you get it. A nation turns from God. America was founded. The young lady in the earlier thing, she said, America was founded on Christian principles. No, it wasn't. America was founded as a Christian nation. Go read the letters of the founding fathers that they were sending to their old ladies. She talked about, they said, baby, paraphrasing, baby, we've been over here praying for 3.5 hours, 4 hours before we decided what we was going to do with this Constitution. And then you got all these people like the founding fathers were Masons and all the Masons were the devil. And it's all based on Masonic societies. And then you go back and you actually read and you realize that the Illuminati infiltrated the Masons. That means at some point in time, the Masons were not what they are today. They were infiltrated like everything else by the Illuminati. But you can't tell people this because they're so damn far behind on knowledge. They're like, oh yeah, the Illuminati is the Masons and the Masons is the devil worshippers and the devil worshippers is this. It wasn't always such. But you can't tell people this because we're in this Gnostic environment where it's like you just repeat it. And you give this half-ass information that hasn't been vetted and hasn't been thought through. You just repeat it and you sound cool. Yeah, the Masons were the ones that set up the United States of America, man. The founding fathers were the Masons. The Masons all worship the devil. That means the founding fathers all worship the devil. But the son of a bitch saying it ain't read shit, ain't studied nothing. Nothing. You just repeating what you heard another person on YouTube say. A bunch of damn mockingbirds. That's why I say the danger of social media is the mockingbirds. Y'all become the damn mockingbird. No knowledge, no wisdom, no nothing. Wah, mockingbird, wah, 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 mockingbird. Wah, Masons are bad, all Masons are bad. Wah, founding fathers make sense. What? Founding fathers satanic. What? My goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Before I started rapping, if you actually heard my story, bet you'll be like, oh my goodness. Y'all better send a message, Mr. President. You better send a message, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President. You better send a message. You better send a message in the hell with how they behave here. You send the message, and if they go crazy, you deal with them right here in this nation. But you better send a message. You better send a message. You better send a damn message. Sorry. And it ain't Donald Trump's fault. It ain't even J.D. Vance's fault. It's the church's fault, the ecclesia's fault in this nation. Because we still ain't realized it. We still ain't came to the understanding that you can't just go to church on Sunday and be like, oh, I'm going to church and, I took my Holy Communion on Sunday or Saturday and then everything is fine. No, everything ain't fine. These people ain't here to play no games with you. And then we ignore the Christian persecution going on around the world for the most part. Let Savannah Hernandez show you why this has to be dealt with. And I'm happy. I'm happy. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we were praying for this moment to come. We really were. So I'm happy that it's here. But as a watchman on the wall, I'm sitting here on the wall saying, no, sir. Yeah, you're going to have to blow these people up. You have to blow some of these people up, sir. I'm standing on the wall watching them and their behavior pattern. Sir, you're going to have to blow them up, sir. And it's like everybody's lagging in their understanding. Sir, there's millions of them beating in the gate. Some of them already inside the castle, sir. But the larger group of them, sir, I know some of them are assimilated and they have babies with people here and everybody thinks they're cool, sir. But I'm looking at the ones over there kill everybody in that territory, sir. And you should blow them up to send them here a message, sir. You should blow them to hell, sir. Blow them all to hell, sir. Because, sir, I just want to let you know, sir, if there was an opportunity for them to blow us to hell, they would.
This is Savannah Hernandez standing in front of the Al Hassan Islamic Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. Now, I'm standing here because this mosque has made national headlines after they penned a letter of community support for a Somali immigrant who sexually assaulted a 12-year-old. Now, back in 2024, this perpetrator was charged after abducting a 12-year-old from her backyard, forcing her into his vehicle, and then sexually assaulting her. He has since been convicted of first-degree criminal sexual assault. Now, after being convicted, his family members were sending letters to the judge to ask the judge to consider his character when making that sentencing. And one of those letters came from the Al Hassan Islamic Center. It was actually signed by their executive director, stating that he had to face cultural differences and the challenges of taking on a new culture. They also framed him as a family-oriented man who sends his money oftentimes back to his family members in Somalia. The judge actually gave him the lightest sentencing possible. He is only going to be serving 8 years in jail for this crime. He was sentenced to 12 years, but those last 4 years are going to be spent out of jail and on probation. By the way, going back to that point about the challenges of a different culture, this perpetrator has been in the United States of America since 2006. So he's been in the United States for 19 years. He was born in Somalia, but he has been here for almost 2 decades at this point. However, the culture coming into play when it comes to, as the Islamic Center put it, this situation, the situation, of course, being him sexually assaulting and abducting a 12-year-old girl. So just wanted to give you guys an idea of some of these stories, some of the cultural impact happening here in Minnesota as it relates to the Somali community.
All I can tell you is y'all need to deal with it. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, there's biblical justification for dealing with these people. There's biblical justification for why it happened to us, and it's happening to us. There's everything is there. This nation is repenting. We got a couple other people they just wild and crazy. But the majority of this nation doesn't repent it. The reason why there's a sign in the music industry that music is slowing down is because the hearts of the nation is turned away from the wickedness. It's why Beyonce came out and she's like, I'm going to do country music. Because the spirits that work with Beyonce was like, they're turning away from our perversion, Beyonce. Go to country music. You must take over the country music industry. And next you will go to gospel music. And then we will be where we need to be. All the signs are there. It's all laid out right there in front of you. You see it. You see the shift. You see the, people call it the matrix. You see the change in the matrix. The code inside the matrix is changed. People start getting up out of their cocoons and pulling the things out of their mouth and unhooking themselves. And so now they're rolling out the next matrix, which is AI to try and get you back into that system. And people's like, no, get that off me. Get it off me. Get it off me. And they're waking up and they're looking around saying, what the hell? And everybody's inside a damn pod looking at each other. You 2 miles in the air looking down at other pods. And people are waving to each other. Are you awake? I'm awake. Are you awake? I'm awake. How do we get down? See y'all on the next video, man. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button if you roll with your boy, man. Now I'm gonna need y'all to hit the like button for real, because YouTube be playing games, man. YouTube like to turn me off. Like, I watched the analytics on one video after I came off Alex Jones, and there were videos on Twitter that were getting literally millions of views, and people clicking the link to the video while it's on Twitter, it's my video, and those views aren't translating to YouTube. They're not translating to YouTube. 800,000, 300,000, 400,000. None of it translated over to YouTube. Although it was a YouTube link posted, and it was embedded and it was outside source, none of it transferred over. So I'm gonna need y'all to hit the like button, hit the share button. Don't be, people like, well, you should go to Rumble, you should go to this. No, I'm not worried about them taking a channel. I'm just worried about them censoring the channel. If I go to Rumble, ain't nobody following me over there to Rumble. It don't make no sense to go to Rumble. Before I do that, I'll just go back to my own website and push my own website. Not building up their platform. They ain't paying me nothing to build up their platform. They ain't gonna be like, James, come on over here to Rumble, and we'll give you 50% of what you make on YouTube if you just bring your content. Rumble ain't trying to do that shit, so I ain't going to Rumble. You heard me? You just hit the like button for your boy, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, and get the metrics up, and we good to go. The algorithm can't suppress us.